What's going on, guys? Got another one for you. Ashlee Janae's addiction to white men was worse than we thought. Let's check it out.
The day is April 15th, 2026. ABC News posts a story about Ashlee Janae's death in Tanzania. This is the first time we are introduced to the parents. Firstly, we're introduced to the father.
We just want the truth. We just want to know what happened.
And then the mother.
Ashlee Robinson, better known as Ashlee Janae, was on vacation with her boyfriend at a resort in Tanzania. Images posted online show her celebrating her 31st birthday and getting engaged to her boyfriend, 45-year-old Joseph McCann.
She was happy. This is what she wanted.
We cannot tell if the mom and dad are together, and it's really not important until you start to look at the names. Now, the dad is named Harry Robinson, and the mom is named Yolanda Denise Indris. And then I go to look at the GoFundMe, and it has reached $57,000. But when you look at the last name, it is raised by Harry Robinson and Yolanda Denise Indris. So this means to me that this couple is no longer together. And then when I look at the last name Indris, I thought to myself, do I know any Black American or African American or Caribbeans named Indris?
Now, I do know that digging in a little deeper, watching some new content come up, that her mother, I guess, separated from her father years ago. She was young. I don't know exactly how old she was, but she remarried, okay, and had more kids with a white man. And I think that's where a lot of her issues arose. That's just my humble opinion, but we're going to continue with this video and we'll discuss.
No, I don't. In fact, I had to go to AI and see what that name is all about. The name Indris is not traditionally African American. It's a surname of German origin. The name is a German variant of the name Andreas, and it is historically concentrated in southern Germany, specifically in the regions of Bavaria and Franconia.
I mean, this guy is diabolical. He's going back into the origin of the name, and he's doing a lot right now.
In the United States, the vast majority of people with the surname Indris identify as white. Only about 0.35% of people with this last name in the U.S. identify as Black Americans. I got some information from a friend of mine in Kenya. Shout out to Kamunto Bear. And she showed me some of these old tweets that Ashlee Janae had. Mixed babies are so cute. This is February 27th, 2014. I've been saying since the third grade, my children will be mixed. LMAO. My baby is going to be mixed when I have a child.
Now, where do you think, or why do you think that happened? Where do you think that comes from, right? I can only guess personally that growing up as a child, you're a young girl, right? Young dark-skinned girl. You see your mom, a dark-skinned woman, marry this white man, this white zaddy, right? They get married. They have multiple kids. Now you're siblings, and now you're growing up with them as an older sister. So you're seeing this unfold. You're seeing that, I guess they had a good life. I guess, she witnessed that, and then the kids. And so that, I think, is where the seed was planted in her head at that time. And then over time, it just kind of materialized, right? So she's being pulled from different directions, so to speak, right? Her lineage, and then yet she sees what her mom is doing, and she sees the lineage of her sisters or brothers or siblings or whatever. And it can do something to somebody, right? It may never have been discussed. It may have never been talked about, but that doesn't mean that it didn't do something to her mentally, right? And shape the way she kind of views Black men in her own, in today's society.
LOL. Then let's tie that back to this comment everyday black men wake up to find ways to embarrass us.
Yeah. You get reactions like that, right? Now, when I first saw this, I was like, maybe it was a one-off type of situation, and I didn't know anything about her background for the most part. But looking at all this other stuff now, putting stuff together, it makes sense. One might think this way, right? I think her mother had a lot to do with it. I really do, because there's other texts that I saw or tweets that she made, and she said that my mother tells me all the time that I'm going to be just like her and have a white husband. LOL. Like, these are things you can pull up. You can go look at. Hopefully they didn't take it down. I'm sure they're digging old stuff up as well as I'm speaking right now, but who knows? But yeah, man, this right here. Now, she could have just said, you know, I think she got this from, I think there was a black guy who was trying to have sex with a frog or something like something crazy, right? Like, Caucasians don't do things crazy.
No, 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 no.
Like, other races don't do things outlandish and crazy, right? But like I said, everyday black men, she used that to say everyday black men find new ways to embarrass us, which I still feel some type of way about, because she didn't have to say that. She didn't have to go there. And then I hear all these comments talking about, hey, why are you here bashing the dead and all that? Like, I've never bashed the dead. I've never said that she deserved to die. I never said that. In fact, and contrary to that, I said that she didn't deserve to die. A lot of people will watch some of my shorts and watch some things, and they'll just automatically assume that they know what the hell they're talking about when they don't, right? Go watch the whole entire video and then come back and say what you say to understand the whole context of what I'm saying. But at the same time, I also say that you can't be spewing things like this, and this goes for anybody, right? You can't do terrible things or talk terrible things about people and not expect to get some sort of consequence behind that. I don't care how minute or small it is or how big it is. You can't judge. You cannot control how bad or how hard or how soft something is when it's coming back at you. That's the problem. And that's why people shouldn't say things, right? And unless they don't want any consequences. And sometimes that's not even enough. You can just be walking down the street and something terrible can happen to you.
You get the picture. We're coming to something more sinister. We're finding out that Ashlee Janae was not only a white male worshiper, she wanted mixed kids, and she didn't want a whole lot to do with black men unless they were successful. But why are some of these women like that?
I really do hate to be the one to have to talk about this, but I think one of the subconscious reasons as to why some people in the black community decide to divest or go into other communities can be the subconscious self-hatred that they have. Perhaps they have experienced like parental wounds from either their father or their mother. For example, Sade Robinson.
Now, I want to get back to this whole idea of swirling and why certain women turn this way or why it happens in the first place. And then I found there was this lady on TikTok who is this white supremacist basher. Her name is Aunt Karen, and she talks about white supremacy all the time, but, well...
Y'all want to know the funniest thing about having a white liberal husband? Every time he make a post on Facebook, his family be tweaking. I know. Baby, they just be tweaking. He be posting more liberal than me. Like,
she's married to a white man. And then something strange happened when she got pregnant 2 years ago.
So what do we have here? Divestors divesting and failing. So we have a black woman who married a white man, and from what I thought, according to the logic of most of the broken black women out here, because it's not all black women, that marrying a white man meant all worries were gone, non-existent. But here we have Auntie Karen on GoFundMe begging for money while she's married to a white husband. I thought when you guys married white men that, it was so much, life was so much better. You didn't have to pay for nothing. You didn't have to worry about 50-50. Financial responsibility was taken off of your shoulders. But even in the story, she just had a baby and she lost her job. So that means her family is suffering to the point she has to go into GoFundMe and to find support. I thought white men had y'all covered.
Well, boo fucking who?
That's right. The same black woman raised a GoFundMe to support herself because her white husband, who she brags about so much and talks about white supremacy all the time, could not support her lifestyle or help her move into a new house because she lost her job due to her pregnancy. Something like that. But then again, I kind of want to go back to Yolanda if I can.
That's the mom, right?
Yolanda Denise Indries, that name is interesting. Then we get this particular revelation. Andre Janae's mom married a white man and had 3 mixed children. I can only guess how much that impacted her identity as a darker skinned black woman going to a predominantly white school and drove her desire to want the same for herself. There's a lot to unpack here.
And that's what I was talking about, guys, earlier in the video. There's a lot of psychology involved in this, right? This gets very cerebral. This, if you break it all down. And I just explained it earlier. And lo and behold, somebody else is saying it. And this is what I believe led to how she kind of saw white versus black in her world, in society, right? And so it's a trip, man. It really is a trip. So that's why I go back to the mother. Now, am I saying that the mother is her fault? Is she to blame? Not necessarily, but I will give her partial blame. And I only say that because some of the, like I said, some of the old tweets that, that Ashlee had put out was saying that her mother was telling her that you're going to end up with a white man just like me type of situation. Almost grooming her in a sense to this is better than that. Look at me, look at us, and look at all that. But what's funny about that is the fact that they needed to go fund me. And they probably had the father do it because the mother's husband didn't have the bread, right? So, guys, this is just a train wreck, if I'm being honest. And everything has still yet to come out. And when it does, like I said, I'll keep you guys posted. This is something I usually don't do, follow story. I usually do my videos and I keep it moving. But right now, I don't know. I just feel like finishing this off, guys. I don't think I can stop until we get the end results and find out everything that's happened. So I'm going to keep bringing it to you guys until it's over. Okay.
But it's making more sense. Okay, so now it makes sense. She has this last name, Indries, simply because her mom married an American man of German origin. And her brothers and sisters are now, half black and half white. So she's been taken care of, by a white man. And, he's looked at her as her own. So she's comfortable being around white men. Now, this is something that can happen in America. It doesn't happen a lot. It's not very often that a black woman gets with a white man with a black child and then they have more kids. I mean, it's happened, here on social media with the McClure twins. And you also see it with, Rose Miller and her white husband. But this is a false narrative, right?
And let me also interject and say this real quick as well. Because I'm not even on here to bash any race of people, right? Whatsoever, because I have a melting pot of a family, guys. I mean, I have cousins who are married to white women who are beautiful people inside and out, right? Beautiful family. Okay. Every single time I've interacted with them, nothing but, graciousness, nothing but pure love, all of that, right? I have Asians in my family. Okay. I got my little cousin, who's, married an Asian. Like you can't make it up. I mean, it's just, my mother is half Mexican. So I'm not on here just bashing for the sake of bashing. That's not what I do here. The only reason I'm on this platform making videos about this said person here is because everybody was talking about it and I got curious. And I said, what is all the hype? What's going on here? Right? And then I dove in and then I started doing content and then it caught fire. So that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm talking about it. Right? Not every white man is going to kill their black girlfriend, black wife. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen. There are plenty of stories of successful couples, right, who are biracial. My cousin who's married to a Mexican. Like it goes on and on and on. So just keep that in mind when watching this.
Come on, players, stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating.
And I'm going to tell you something. There are good white people in the world. We got to be honest. Like I always tell you guys, I was just like most of you, taught, raised, went to college with, and everything that we pretty much know, at least 75% of our academic knowledge has come from white people, okay? Because they are our teachers. They are, the people that I teach us skills in the private sector for the most part. That's the ecosystem that we grow in. And then what we believe is because we have a positive experience with white people that they're all going to be like the ones that we know. And we could also assume that because we have a bad experience with black people, all experiences with black people can be depressing. And what this can do for black women is that it could give them a sort of false hope when they are dealing with white men. In other words, a lot of black women can overestimate their leverage when they are dealing with white men. And the reason why they can is because, well, your mom got a white man when she was a single mom, and then you believe, well, it happened for her, then it should be able to happen for me. Well, that's one way to put it, but that doesn't necessarily make it true. What happens for others doesn't mean that it will happen to you. This is the truth. And so if you're looking at a person just because they're white and because you're black and you believe that this positive experience will work out for you, it could or it could not. In the case of her, it definitely did not, because look, now you're raising money from the black community, a lot of people who are, touched by your story, to get the body back from Tanzania to the States. Then you're gonna have to go back to Tanzania and find out what happened. White fiance hasn't come out to speak out on your behalf, and hey, your stepdad is your stepdad, but the guy that you're sleeping with is the guy that you're sleeping with. People who marry somebody's family and then accept you as you are, they are committed to you. Somebody who is not married to you yet are not committed to you. They don't care anything about you, especially if you could be replaceable.
I mean, straight up, nothing but facts. After her death, guys, this guy went on social media talking about crypto. Literally. He was talking about cryptocurrency and other things. He acted as if nothing ever happened. Like he never knew this woman. He never met her. He never had a relationship with her, guys. He went on about his own business.
Oh, buddy, what a fucking waste.
Like, it's crazy work. If it was my fiance, I would not be able to do that, right? I just wouldn't be able to do it. But like I said, you got to really vet these people, because sometimes everything is not what it seems.
And I hate to say this to women, but I'm going to tell you this. This is just my personal opinion from what I have seen to years past. Women to a lot of men are more replaceable now than they have ever been. And I'm going to tell you exactly why a lot of men could feel like that. It's not because women are inherently just less valuable, but it's just the access is a lot different. You go and you just look at social media and what can happen. It's easier to meet people before you even get there. I mean, think about Tinder or Instagram. Like, if you're somebody and you have access, you might be able to schedule 30, 40, 50 dates before you get to a city. And so that means that you could be less replaceable than before. If you're a white man and you deal with nothing but black women, and that's your prerogative, well, white men understand that a white man has a better chance of getting attractive black women than he has of getting unattractive white women. It's just easier, right? So the leverage all stays with the man, especially if the man is rich, especially if the man is spending money, especially if that man focuses on the niche. Do not overestimate the leverage that Caucasians have, all right? Do not believe that because you want mixed babies and because you want white people and you tell them that they're going to respect you. They, in fact, will not respect you. In other words, you're giving up your leverage with your own community, and now we see who they are coming back to. We see who's spreading the word about the killings. It's more black people on social media that want justice for her than anybody else. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that whites don't care, but I can guarantee you that 80% of the money that's coming back is coming from the black community. It's coming from there, right? The
And most
guy
of it is
who
probably
took her
from women.
there is not saying anything. He's not coming out in her defense. He's not coming out in her behalf. He's trying to save his own ass. That's all he cares about. He cares about what's good for him, and that's it.
Yeah, man. And I'm going to end it there because there's nothing else to be said. You know, I said some of it. He said some of it. You know, these are all straight facts. And a lot of people don't want to hear it. And that GoFundMe that they got, they went ahead and earned the money. They got, I think he said 57,000, right? So they got 7,000 over. And like you said, guarantee you 80% of that of those donors are black. And out of those 80% who donated, out of the 80%, probably 90% are all black women. I guarantee you, right? I almost positively guarantee you that. So you know how the black man feels right now about this situation. We're all a little bit a little sensitive about, you know, the tweets and some of the things she said and just the background, right? It's just it's crazy work is what it is. So I don't know, guys. How do you feel about it? Leave your comments down below. If you like the content, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I drop content every single day on this channel. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next video.